So this video is really for people that haven't used Python very much, or PyPy, or ReadTheDocs, or GitHub, to show you how you can access the materials associated with dyadfit. So the first important page is the GitHub page. So on here, if you click on Docs, you can access the examples folder. And then in here is every example that is on ReadTheDocs. You can click and you can see all of the spreadsheets it calls in, all of the notebooks, etc. You can also, if you want to, look at the code. So say you want to know how I actually do the CO2 equation of state calculations, you can scroll down and you can see all of the functions and all of the doc string. So this is the doc string. This is like information on how the function works. So this is really if you want to go digging into the code itself. Otherwise, you can completely ignore GitHub for the rest of your life and there will be no consequences. What it is worth knowing is that although you don't have to look at the code, if you're ever having an issue with dyadfit, so something that isn't working, you can post an issue here. So me and my collaborators use this to keep track of bugs. So you can see we open issues when we find problems, and then we close them when they're solved. But you can quickly say new issue, and then you can put a title, describe what's going wrong, and attach as much information as you can. So attach your Jupyter notebook, attach your data, and then if you submit that, I'll try and fix it as quickly as possible. If you're not comfortable putting your data or your notebook on this, which everyone can see, you can also email it to me, but please email your notebook and your data so that I can try and solve the problem, because otherwise I'm not going to know what's going wrong. Okay, so on GitHub, you will also see this link to ReadTheDocs. So ReadTheDocs is basically nice documentation to read. It basically makes a website out of these Python files. So you can see there's information on how to cite it, there's information on installing it. And then down the side here, each one of these blue headings is like an example of how to do something. So say you want to know how to assess dyad skewness, you can click there. Or say you are interested in, equation of state calculations, you could click on this one. And what it does is it shows a Jupyter notebook kind of in a web page form. So you don't have to run it, you can just scroll through and look at what it does and follow on the examples. Now, say you did want to download it yourself. You could either download the whole folder from GitHub, which is one option, or you can click this download view in NB viewer. So what that's going to do is it's going to launch this NB viewer thing. And then there's a download button over here. So you can press download notebook. Now, sometimes that will work, didn't in this case, or you can say save link as, and then you can save it in your download. So we can save it there. Another thing you might want to do is if we go back, you'll see that I'm also telling you that this notebook requires 2 spreadsheets. So you're going to want to click on this and it's going to take you straight to GitHub. And then you can press download here and get that spreadsheet. And then you're going to want to get the second one as well, which doesn't exist, but that link will be fixed soon. So once you've got in your downloads, you now have your equation of state calculations and your spreadsheet. You will now want to move these into whatever folder you want to run Python in. And then you're going to navigate to them. So say I use Jupyter Lab, and you're going to drop these in a folder, and then you're going to double click and open up the Python notebook, and then you can follow along any of the worked examples. So yeah, that's a brief introduction to how to use GitHub and ReadTheDocs for these open source tools.